Creepy campfire tales. True scary stories to tell in the dark. As the fire crackled and cast eerie shadows around the campsite, a hushed silence fell over the group. It was the perfect setting for sharing creepy campfire tales, and everyone leaned in closer, eager to hear the next spine-chilling story. One camper, Sarah, cleared her throat and began her tale. She recounted the story of a haunted cabin deep within the woods, where strange occurrences had terrified anyone who dared to stay the night. Sarah's voice quivered as she described the ghostly whispers that echoed through the walls and the chilling footsteps that could be heard in the dead of night. As Sarah finished her story, a shiver ran down the spines of the listeners. But another camper, Alex, was determined to add his own tale to the mix. He spoke of a cursed forest trail, where hikers had mysteriously vanished without a trace. His voice grew more intense as he described the haunting laughter that seemed to emanate from the dense foliage and the unsettling feeling of being watched by unseen eyes. The campers exchanged nervous glances, their imaginations running wild with the terrifying possibilities. It was then that Emily, a seasoned camper, decided to share a personal encounter she had experienced during a previous camping trip. Emily recounted the night she woke up to a chilling presence hovering over her tent. She described the icy breath that brushed against her cheek and the feeling of an invisible hand gripping her arm. The campers listened intently, their hearts pounding with fear, as Emily revealed that she had never been able to explain what had happened that night. As the tales continued, the campfire seemed to burn brighter, casting eerie shadows that danced along the forest floor. Each story shared sent a shiver down the spines of the listeners, reminding them of the unknown horrors that could lurk in the darkness. As the night grew darker, the campers huddled closer together, finding comfort in their shared fear. The campfire crackled and popped, as if echoing the unease that had settled over the group. Yet, despite the fear that gripped them, there was also a sense of exhilaration, a thrill in facing the unknown and exploring the boundaries of their own courage. As the last tale was told, the campers sat in silence, their minds filled with haunting images and lingering questions. The campfire had served its purpose, leaving them with a lingering sense of unease. But as they retreated to their tents, the group found solace in the collective bond they had formed through their shared experiences. And as they drifted off to sleep, the forest around them seemed to hold its breath, promising more tales to be told in the future, each one more terrifying than the last. The campers would never forget that night, when the darkness came alive with the whispers of the unknown, forever etching those creepy campfire tales into their memories. The following morning, the campers awoke with a mix of relief and anticipation. The sun bathed the campsite in a warm glow, casting away the shadows that had danced in their imaginations the night before. As they gathered around the remnants of the campfire, the atmosphere had shifted. The unease of the previous night had been replaced with a newfound camaraderie and a shared sense of accomplishment. They exchanged knowing glances and smiles, their eyes sparkling with the memories of the chilling tales they had shared. The experience had brought them closer together, forging a bond that went beyond mere friendship. They had faced their fears head-on, and in doing so, had unlocked a hidden strength within themselves. Over breakfast, the campers eagerly discussed their favorite stories from the previous night. They laughed nervously, reliving the moments that had made their skin crawl and their hearts race. The tales had not only entertained them but had also awakened a curiosity within them, a thirst for more adventures and mysteries waiting to be unraveled. As the day wore on, the campers embarked on various activities, but the eerie campfire tales lingered in the back of their minds. They explored the forest trails with a newfound sense of adventure, their steps a little bolder, their eyes scanning the surroundings for any hint of the supernatural. Throughout the day, they stumbled upon peculiar sights and heard strange sounds, each incident fueling their imaginations further. They shared their findings with excitement, swapping theories and speculations, their imaginations running wild. The forest seemed to respond to their curiosity, whispering secrets and offering glimpses of the unknown. When nightfall descended once again, the campers gathered around the campfire, anticipation crackling in the air. They were no longer huddled together in fear, but rather in anticipation of the thrilling tales that awaited them. The campfire's flames danced, casting eerie shadows on their faces, as if in sync with the stories that unfolded. One by one, they took turns sharing their own tales, each one more spine-chilling than the last. The stories intertwined with the sounds of the forest, creating an atmosphere that sent shivers down their spines. The campers leaned in closer, their eyes wide with both fear and excitement, as they allowed themselves to be transported into a world where the line between reality and the supernatural blurred. As the night grew darker, the campers found themselves once again huddled together, finding comfort in their shared fear. The campfire crackled and popped, its flames flickering as if in response to the chilling tales. And though the stories left them with a lingering sense of unease, they also left them with a sense of empowerment. For in facing the unknown and exploring the depths of their own courage, the campers had discovered that fear could be a catalyst for growth. They had discovered the strength that lay dormant within them, waiting to be awakened by the mysteries of the world. And so, as they retired to their tents once more, they did so with a newfound resilience and a sense of wonder, knowing that the forest held endless tales to be told, each one more terrifying and exhilarating than the last. The campers would forever carry the memories of those creepy campfire tales, etched into their minds as a reminder of their own bravery. And as they drifted off to sleep, the forest enveloped them, promising more adventures, more mysteries, and more tales to be shared in the days to come. The next day, the campers awoke with a renewed sense of excitement. They eagerly gathered around the campfire, ready to share their own stories and experiences from the night before. Each tale was met with rapt attention and gasps of both fear and admiration. It seemed that the shared fear had brought them closer together, forging a bond that transcended their differences. As the days went by, the campers ventured deeper into the forest, exploring its hidden trails and uncovering its secrets. They encountered eerie sounds echoing through the trees, strange footprints imprinted on the forest floor, and glimpses of mysterious creatures lurking in the shadows. Instead of retreating in fear, they faced these encounters head-on, fueled by their newfound courage. The campers realized that their shared fear was not just limited to the stories they had heard around the campfire. It extended to the unknown wonders of the natural world surrounding them. They began to appreciate the beauty and complexity of nature, understanding that even the most terrifying aspects had a purpose and a place in the grand tapestry of life. As their knowledge and understanding grew, so did their respect for the forest and its inhabitants. They learned to navigate the wilderness with caution and reverence, mindful of the delicate balance that existed between themselves and the environment. The fear that once held them back became a source of inspiration, pushing them to explore further and delve deeper into the mysteries that awaited them. With each passing night, the campfire tales became more vivid and imaginative. The campers' own experiences intertwined with the stories they shared, blurring the line between reality and myth. They began to understand that fear was not something to be conquered, but rather a companion that guided them on their journey of self-discovery. As the campers gathered around the campfire one last time, they reflected on the transformative power of fear. They had come to realize that it was not a force to be avoided or suppressed, but rather a catalyst for growth and self-realization. Through their shared experiences and the stories they had told, they had learned to embrace fear as an integral part of their lives. As they bid farewell to the campfire and the forest that had become their sanctuary, the campers carried with them a sense of empowerment and a newfound perspective on fear. They knew that the world was filled with unknowns and uncertainties, but they also knew that within themselves, they held the strength and resilience to face whatever challenges lay ahead. And so, armed with their shared experiences and a deep appreciation for the mysteries of the world, the campers ventured back into their everyday lives. But they carried with them the lessons learned around the campfire, forever grateful for the transformative power of fear and the bonds it had forged among them. As they returned to their everyday lives, the campers couldn't help but notice a change within themselves. The once daunting challenges that had paralyzed them with fear now seemed like opportunities for growth and self-discovery. They had learned that fear was not something to be avoided, but rather a signpost pointing towards personal growth. In their workplaces, they approached difficult projects with a newfound confidence. They were no longer afraid of failure, but rather saw it as a stepping stone toward success. They embraced the unknown and took risks, knowing that even if they stumbled, they would come out stronger on the other side.
Creepy campfire tales, true scary stories to tell in the dark. Once upon a time, in the heart of a dense, dark forest, there stood an eerie campfire. Its flickering flames cast long, dancing shadows on the faces of the brave souls gathered around it. The moon hung low in the sky, casting an ethereal glow over the scene as the storyteller began to weave his tale. A legend has it, the storyteller began, his voice filled with an air of mystery, that deep within these woods, there resides a haunted cabin. Many have ventured into its depths, but few have returned. The campers huddled closer together, their eyes wide with anticipation as the storyteller continued. He spoke of a group of friends who had set out on a seemingly innocent camping trip, unaware of the horrors that awaited them. As the night grew colder, the storyteller's words seemed to take on a life of their own. He spoke of strange noises that echoed through the cabin's empty halls, of ghostly apparitions that appeared in the dead of night, and of a malevolent presence that seemed to linger in every corner. One by one, the campers began to feel a chill creep up their spines. The sounds of snapping twigs and rustling leaves outside the campfire circle only heightened their unease. They glanced nervously at one another, wondering if they were truly safe in this dark forest. Just as the tension reached its peak, a blood-curdling scream pierced through the night. The campers jumped to their feet, their hearts pounding in their chests. They searched frantically for the source of the scream, but found nothing. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows, stumbling towards the campfire. It was one of their own, pale and trembling with fear. The campers rushed to their friend's side, offering comfort and reassurance. Between gasps for breath, the survivor managed to utter a few words. I saw it, they whispered, their voice barely audible. The cabin, it's real. The stories, they're all true. The campers exchanged worried glances, realizing that their innocent camping trip had taken a terrifying turn. They knew they couldn't ignore the survivor's plea for help. With newfound determination, they resolved to face the haunted cabin head-on, uncovering the secrets that lay within. As they ventured deeper into the forest, the air grew thicker with a sense of foreboding. Their flashlights illuminated the dense undergrowth, casting eerie shadows on the trees. Each step they took felt heavier than the last, as if the very forest itself was trying to keep them away. Finally, they reached the cabin, its dilapidated facade standing as a testament to the horrors that awaited inside. With trembling hands, they pushed open the creaking door and stepped into the darkness. What they discovered within those haunted walls would forever haunt their nightmares. The cabin was filled with the echoes of past tragedies, the whispers of tormented souls trapped in eternal purgatory. They witnessed apparitions that defied all rationality, and felt the icy touch of unseen hands. But in their journey through the cabin's horrors, the group of friends also found strength in one another. Together, they faced their deepest fears, unraveling the dark mysteries that had plagued the forest for centuries. In the end, they emerged from the haunted cabin forever changed. The experience had left an indelible mark on their souls, a reminder of the darkness that lurked just beyond the veil of reality. As they gathered once again around the campfire, the campers knew that the stories they had shared had become a part of their own personal legends. They would forever be bound by the bond forged in the face of true terror, and the knowledge that sometimes, the scariest tales are the ones that are true. As the flames flickered and danced in the darkness, casting eerie shadows on the faces of the campers, a solemn silence enveloped the group. Each one of them carried the weight of their shared experience, the haunting memories etched deep within their minds. They had ventured into the cabin seeking adventure, unaware of the horrors that awaited them. But as the nights grew longer and the days more treacherous, they had come face to face with the true nature of fear. They had witnessed apparitions that seemed to materialize from thin air, heard the agonizing cries of spirits echoing through the halls, and felt the icy grip of unseen hands. Yet it was in the midst of these nightmares that the strength of their friendship had truly emerged. They had clung to one another, offering support and encouragement as they confronted their deepest fears. In the face of the unknown, they had found solace in the familiar faces of their friends. Together, they had unraveled the dark mysteries that had plagued the forest for centuries. They had deciphered cryptic messages etched into the walls, pieced together fragments of forgotten lore, and exposed the truth that lay hidden beneath layers of time. And in doing so, they had not only freed the trapped souls but also liberated themselves from the shackles of their own fears. Emerging from the cabin, they were forever changed. The experience had left an indelible mark on their souls, a reminder of the fragility of life and the existence of forces beyond human comprehension. They had glimpsed into the abyss and returned, forever carrying the knowledge that darkness lurked just beyond the veil of reality. As they sat around the campfire, the crackling flames casting a warm glow on their faces, they knew that the stories they had shared had become a part of their own personal legends. The haunted cabin had become a symbol of their resilience, a testament to their courage in the face of true terror. And as they retold their harrowing journey, their voices filled with a mix of fear and admiration, they realized that the bond they had forged in that cabin was unbreakable. They were forever bound by the shared experience, by the understanding of what lay hidden in the shadows. From that night on, they carried the weight of their encounter with the supernatural, but they also carried the strength and camaraderie that had seen them through. And as they ventured into the world, they would forever remember that sometimes, the scariest tales are the ones that are true. Their friendship grew stronger in the aftermath of their encounter with the supernatural. They became a support system for one another, always there to listen and provide comfort when the memories became too overwhelming. They understood the nightmares that haunted their sleep, the lingering sense of unease that followed them wherever they went. Together, they sought solace in the normalcy of everyday life. They attended gatherings, went on hikes, and shared laughter over meals. Yet they also knew that they were forever changed. They had seen things that defied explanation and had learned to accept that there were forces beyond their comprehension. As time passed, they became drawn to the mysteries of the world. They delved into folklore and mythology, seeking answers and understanding. They read books on the occult, attended paranormal conferences, and even consulted with experts in the field. Their curiosity was insatiable, fueled by their own personal experiences. But they were not just seekers of knowledge, they were protectors too. They dedicated themselves to helping others who had encountered the supernatural. They formed a group, a network of survivors, who shared their stories and offered support to those who felt lost and alone. They became beacons of hope in a world that often dismissed or ridiculed such experiences. Their bond grew even stronger as they faced new challenges together. They encountered haunted houses, eerie forests, and otherworldly phenomena. They stood tall in the face of fear, drawing strength from the knowledge that they were not alone. They no longer feared the darkness, for they knew that they had the power to confront it. These experiences not only solidified their friendship but also sparked a fire within them. They yearned to uncover the truths hidden in the shadows, to shed light on the mysteries that plagued the world. They became investigators, researchers, and advocates for the supernatural. And so, they embarked on a journey to understand the unknown, armed with their shared experiences and unwavering determination. They knew that the path they had chosen was not an easy one, but they were willing to face the darkness head-on, forever bound by their encounter with the abyss. For they had glimpsed into the abyss and returned, forever carrying the knowledge that darkness lurked just beyond the veil of reality. But they were not consumed by fear, instead, they embraced it. They understood that true courage was not the absence of fear, but the ability to confront it. And as they ventured into the world, their campfire tales became more than just stories. They were reminders of their own strength, of the unbreakable bond they shared, and of the power that lies within each and every one of us to face the unknown. Together, they delved into ancient texts, deciphering cryptic symbols and unraveling forgotten languages. They scoured dusty libraries, seeking out forgotten tomes and manuscripts that held the keys to unlocking the secrets of the supernatural. They studied the works of long-gone scholars, piecing together fragments of knowledge to form a comprehensive understanding of the hidden world. Their research took them to remote corners of the globe, where they encountered ancient rituals, mythical creatures, and enigmatic artifacts. They witnessed firsthand the wonders and terrors that lay just beyond the realm of ordinary perception. With each new discovery, they grew more determined to shed light on the mysteries that plagued the world. But their journey was not without its dangers. They faced malevolent spirits that sought to protect their secrets, and dark forces that sought to silence their voices. They were tested both physically and mentally, their resolve pushed to its limits. Yet, they remained steadfast, fueled by their shared purpose and the knowledge that the truths they sought were worth any sacrifice. As their reputation grew, they became advocates for the supernatural, challenging the skepticism and ignorance that shrouded the world. They spoke at conferences and symposiums, sharing their findings and experiences with those who were willing to listen. They wrote books and articles, aiming to educate and inspire others to explore the mysteries of the unknown. Their campfire tales became legendary, whispered among those who sought answers and dared to venture into the darkness. They became beacons of hope for those who had encountered the supernatural, offering guidance and support to those who felt alone in their experiences. But amidst their success, they never forgot the true purpose of their journey. It was not just about unraveling the mysteries of the supernatural, it was about understanding ourselves and our place in the vast tapestry of existence.